Hello and welcome to the 18th devlog for Blue Sky Aces, a stylized World War I flight simulator aiming to bring the fun back to flight simulators. If you haven't tried the game yet, then check out the free demo available on the game's Steam page. There's a link in the description. The main focus for the last month was to get the demo updated for Steam's Planes, Trains and Automobiles Festival. The Steam festivals are a big part of marketing for indie games, so it pays to enter as many as you're eligible to. That wasn't all though, as work continues on new features, content and other improvements, including a whole lot of new aircraft in the development pipeline. We've also started the design work on the new campaign mode, however there's still a lot to do here before I can show you anything. As mentioned, the Planes, Trains and Automobiles Festival was a big focus for the first part of the month, with a number of late nights towards the middle of the month testing and adding in further improvements and bug fixes. While testing, I realised it was a very real chance of players getting lost or frustrated on the new map, so I decided to add a new mission map to the pause screen. The map shows the player's position and direction, as well as airfields and aircraft, allowing players to find the enemy or to find their way back to the airfield to land. There are a few further improvements that I'd like to make to the map's aesthetics, and there's also a bug where your aircraft marker disappears off the map when you fly beyond the map boundaries. But for now I'm pretty happy with the result. The aircraft AI has also had lots of improvements when it comes to flying at low level. In the past the AI really struggled to attack the player when you were flying below 100 meters. There were a number of reasons for this, but the main cause was a bug found while testing, where the AI wasn't correctly identifying the ground and other static objects like balloons. This is one of those aha moments where I discovered that the ground detection logic that was written 2 years ago was making assumptions that were no longer valid. But fortunately it was a real easy fix, and now the AI are much better at attacking down at really low levels. The observation balloons have also had a number of minor improvements and bug fixes, such as animating the soldier within the basket and fixing the bug where the balloons would sometimes explode in mid-air instead of burning down to the ground first. The last task before releasing was to add some of the new models to the original demo map, in an attempt to make it look more like the new map. The demo update was finally released around the middle of the month, so give it a try if you haven't already, and please leave a comment below with your thoughts on the changes. Work has continued in earnest since the demo update, with support for other countries being the first item added. The goal was to release with support for Britain, Germany, Austria-Hungary, France and Russia. A lot of the aircraft were flown by multiple countries during the war, such as the Newport 17, and this will be reflected in some of the aircraft available for each country. However, they each had unique aircraft which should provide a nice variety. Next up was the addition of the French aircraft by Morane Saulnier, called the Bullet. This was a wing-warping monoplane similar to the Fokker Eindecker, but it had a much more streamlined appearance. The aircraft was originally developed for racing, but proved to be quite adept at dogfighting during the early periods of the war, especially when a forward-firing machine gun was added, which fired through the propeller. At this stage there was no such thing as an interrupter gear, and there was roughly a 7% chance of bullets hitting the propeller. To avoid the obvious negative effects of shooting off one's own propeller, deflector plates were added on the propeller to deflect the bullets safely away. This was rather crude, but reportedly worked rather well at this early stage of the war. As part of adding the Bullet, I decided to test out a theory that I'd come up with a couple of months ago, to allow the model's wings to warp like the real aircraft. Wing warping aircraft were very common before and during the early stages of the war, but quickly fell out of favour as ailerons proved to be superior. The technique I've used relies on a custom vertex shader that alters the position of the wing vertices relative to the distance from the wing warping origin, positioned near the wingtip. This ensures that only vertices within a defined radius of the warping origin actually move, and the ones closer to the warping origin move more than the ones further away. The amount of movement is based on the position of a virtual aileron. The solution is held together with a simple script that sets the normalized aileron position for each wing during each frame update. This technique also has a number of other interesting use cases which I want to investigate in the future, such as allowing the wings to flex under high G-forces or to bend in response to a collision. I really like the first idea as it has potential to make the aircraft movement look much more natural. During the next month we've got a lot of new aircraft under construction to add to the game, such as the Hansa Brandenburg D1, the Sopwith triplane, the Fokker D6, the Fokker D2, the SE-5A, the Halberstadt D2 and the Roland C2, plus more in the backlog. We also plan to implement a new simulation flight model with improved realism to appeal to those players who are after a more authentic experience. This will include forces such as propeller and engine torque, wind, g-force limits, and the ability to perform movers like stall turns and spins. So keep an eye out for the next development log video for more information. Well folks, that's it for this time. If you enjoyed this, then please hit the like button. It's a tiny thing, but it really does help the channel out. And click subscribe so you don't miss out on the next update. If you'd like to give the game a try, then check out the link in the description to the game's Steam page where you can play the demo for free. And don't forget to wish list it so you'll be notified when the game is released. If you got this far, then thanks for listening, and I'll see you again next time.